Folks, I have to read this article to you, and you guys have to listen. It comes out of Breitbart. And for those of you that think this is going to be another commentary on the border, let me just explain that after I read this story, you're going to want to stick around to hear my commentary with respect to the biblical implications of what's going on south of us, the southern border. Listen to this article, excuse me, and I'll explain exactly what the biblical implications of this really are. It says here in Breitbart, revealed how the U.S. government pays to bus in thousands of migrants over the southern border daily. Now, this article is very interesting. I'm only going to read to you part of it, but I want to encourage you to read it all because it is a very useful article here. And it says this, there's a little subheading here that says U.S. border officials are quietly busing a vast flood of wage-cutting, rent-spiking migrants into Americans' towns and cities despite the court-ordered preservation of Title 42. The article goes on to say it's like 8,000 to 9,000 a day now, and there are more on the way, Migration Monitor Todd Benson told Breitbart News. Look what it goes on to say. It says, U.S. Border Chief Alejandro Mayorkas and his pro-immigration deputies are using the Title 42 barrier to send some Central American single men and families back to Mexico, but Mayorkas is cutting loopholes in the barrier to place everyone else on government-funded buses to cities and towns around the United States. This is crazy, but it's absolutely true, folks, and I am reading this. This is a pretty heavy thing when you read the contents of what's going on and how they are making loopholes out of this. It's unbelievable. Now, I think that it's appropriate for me to stop at this point because there's a lot of other details that they expound upon regarding how this is happening and how they're taking advantage of the loophole. But the thing that I think has biblical implications here is the fact that this regime filled with globalists are beginning to make the border lines blurry. And when you begin to blur the border lines, you begin to go into the mindset of globalism, which continues to facilitate and fuel the fire of the New World Order. If there are no effective borders, then that means we are all just big one mush pot. And the reality of it is, I said big one big mush pot, sleep deprivation, one big mush pot. And the reality of it is when that begins to happen on a global level, we will begin to see the formulation of what will take place when power is capitulated to one person, and that is the final and coming Antichrist. Folks, make no mistake about it. That is the direction we're going in. This is not something that has happened because of a series of incompetent idealists that have some idea about a revolution that's going to make America a better place. These are all people that fully know what they are doing, and they are very calculated in their demolition of the liberty that we have that is founded and based in Christian and biblical principles. And as a result, when they destroy it, there will be no last standing room for freedom, which is why we as believers who are the preserving influence in this world, as the Bible notes, need to take a stand for unrighteousness. Yes, eventually we know the world will go to that place. But as we're here, we need to stand up for righteousness. We need to get involved in any way that we can to stand up for what is right. And understand this, folks, the commentary on the problem with Mexico goes far greater than the damage that it's doing to the United States of America. It speaks to the hundreds and thousands of children that are being exploited every day that are coming in from Mexico, that are being abused and used to do all kinds of evil things. And the reality of it is, we've got to stand against it. Why? Because God wants us to stand for righteousness in these last days, and we need to stand firm and we need to stand tall. God bless you guys.